Was, of course, a member of the biggest boy band in history, the Beatles. He and Paul McCartney are sadly now the only survivors of the Fab Four, but they're both still making music. In a minute, we'll talk to Ringo, but first, here's his new single, Fading In, Fading Out. Great.
Oh, that's really
great.
good. That's
great.
Ringo's new single, Fading In, Fading Out, from the album Choose Love, and he's here now. When did you last release a record? When was your last one?
2 years ago, called Ringo Rama.
Right. And the band that you're with there is called the Roundheads, isn't it?
Ringo and the Roundheads.
Ringo and the Roundheads. What's really... We bumped into Bill Wyman a few weeks ago, and he still tours in his band, which of course isn't the Rolling Stones, as yours isn't the Beatles. Yeah. How important is it to still be in a band, to be part of a band? I sense it is... It's kind
well, to me, it's important because, you know, I am a band member and I've always enjoyed hanging out with musicians and playing, and the dream as a kid was to get the drums and then end up in a band and play with great musicians. And that's still going on today. But with this band, the Roundheads, now we've been together more or less, say, 5 years.
Right.
So we're really getting to know each other, and the band is cooking more, you know? So we play live, and then we do an odd club gig. We did a club in New York, which was great. And, you know, you get some of that sweat back, you know, and it sort of, it lets you know why you're doing it, really, to get that instant reaction.
Because with the, you know, the incredible wealth that the Beatles continue to generate, you don't need to do it. So,
well, no, but
so
it's not, I don't think it's a question of need to do it, because, you know, in all honesty, you two have made a few bob too. And you don't have to sit here and interview us, you know.
Not the Beatles, mate.
I am a drummer, it's what we do.
Yeah.
And I'm in a profession which is so great, because as long as I can hold the sticks, I'll get a job, you know. So, I mean, Chuck Berry's still out there. I was just working with Jerry Lee Lewis. You know, B.B. King, though, he may be sitting down, he's still playing. So we're in that profession where you don't have to stop if you love it.
But I heard a story about Chuck Berry recently, and the story I heard about Chuck Berry was that although, of course, he still continues and carried on for years and years after his biggest hits, he never had a band. He never, ever got a band around him. All he ever used to do was hire the local band in the town that he was playing.
He always has, yeah.
Yeah? Well, no, why would that be?
Because he's cheap.
Because he's cheap, that's what everybody else... That's what everybody else said about him. He's really tight.
You know, he turns up at the gig and he makes the promoter find a band.
Yeah.
And Chuck is so great because he has, you know, he tells the band how to do it. He says, just watch my leg, because if I do that, we stop, and if I do that, we start. And that's just the thing about Chuck, and I've seen him do that.
So do you see any end to it, then? I mean, do you have any...
No, that's what I'm saying. It can go on as long as I can. I mean, I'm sure in like 10, 15 years I'll be playing in a blues band really slow.
No, that's really heartening, though. That's really heartening.
No, I love to play.
That flame still burns. Listen, you commendably haven't reacted yet to these.
Well, I did when I came in. I'm keeping my back to them.
Obviously, they're from Madame Tussauds. These are the ones you guys modelled for back in 1964.
Now, you know, we sat with them for days, and I mean, they're nothing like us.
Oh, I don't know.
They're not like, okay.
Well, you're all a bit full of faith.
I know these guys. That, you know, is that George?
Yeah, of course it is.
I know
and
that.
they're all a bit.
George.
You're all a bit full of faith. No.
She reserves that for me, don't worry. I think they're...
Of course it does.
Well, considering they were made in '64, technology's moved on. It's
yeah,
not bad.
It has. Anyway, I think it's a really bad likeness. OK, that's all I have to say.
Well, then we have
I don't want to get on your bad side, Judy.
No. I must admit...
No, you really don't want to do that,
admit,
Ringo, promise
you look better now.
You look
I think so, too.
Yeah.
But I hope so, looking at that.
We should
We're not allowed to touch them.
We're not, no.
Sadly.
Oh, fantastic. These are going on sale. They're selling them off on October the 27th, the Cooper Owen Music Legends auction.
They are also the figures that were on the cover.
Sergeant Pepper.
Sergeant Pepper,
yeah. If we can stay... It's the ones on the left in the suits.
Yeah.
Why were you in suits?
Why not? It's
well,
the
we
Beatles.
wore suits. I mean, Brian Epstein in the early days made us wear suits because he wanted to stop us drinking and smoking on stage and look like we were responsible.
How did you... We got a clip. We've got a clip of you guys arriving in the US in 1964. Just before we show it, obviously the reception was incredible.
Yeah.
How did you guys manage to break America before going to America? How did you pull that one off?
Luck. Yeah.
What, this radio
you couldn't plan it. We'd had a couple of records out there we couldn't sell. Couldn't sell anything. Brian had to talk to Capitol Records and force them to put some money in promotion.
Right.
And a lot of DJs got behind us. And we were actually booked to go to America by Ed Sullivan. And we had nothing in America. We came in from Sweden, and all the fans were all over Heathrow. And he flew in from America and saw this and just booked us because of that reaction.
Wow.
Right.
He didn't know us, nobody knew us.
Had he not been there, had he not been passing through Heathrow,
Yeah.
you wouldn't have been booked.
Well, that's life, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's, what was that? Sliding
Sliding doors.
Another second and it's all different.
So if you... So you flew over to be on the Ed Sullivan Show.
Yeah.
And that appearance on the Ed Sullivan Show...
No, the radio plays
we
beforehand.
arrived with the #1.
Oh, right.
And that was so big there. And then we did the Ed Sullivan Show, it made it huge.
Yeah.
But, you know, there wasn't like this big master plan.
No.
Yeah.
Things just happened.
Well, look, let's have a... You've seen this a trillion times, but it's worth showing, especially the slightly nettled questions of the American journalists saying things to you guys like, are you going to get a haircut?
Yeah.
Yeah? It was such a big deal then, wasn't it, having hair just over your ears?
Yeah.
Let's have a look.
George, John, Paul and Ringo had found a new world to conquer.
Aren't you afraid of what the American Barbers Association is going to think of you?
Well, we've run quicker than the English ones. We'll have a go in.
Did you hope to get a haircut at all?
No.
Nope. No, thanks.
I had one yesterday. That's no lie. It's true.
Fancy being at the heart of that. Just
Incredible.
fancy being at the heart
You know
of
what
that.
we found out later? Because we did the Ed Sullivan shows, and then we got a train to Washington. And so a lot of the press guys were on that train. And they'd all come to that press conference to kill us.
Oh, they want...
I mean, in a 60s kind of a way.
Yeah. Bury you.
Yeah,
Bury you.
burials.
Yeah.
They can't, you know.
Why? Because you had long
Well,
hair?
because we were from England, and who do you think you are?
Right,
and we
right,
found this out later. And because we shouted at them and had fun,
Yeah.
they loved us, and then they supported us.
Well, your cheek was kind of
Yeah,
legendary.
they
The
loved us
first one.
being just us, you know.
Yeah.
It's funny about the hair, though. It's because, I mean, my dad used to absolutely hate you for that hair.
Yeah.
And it's nothing, is it, really?
now.
Just at the time,
Well,
it
my
was...
dad insisted I had a short back and sides for years.
Yeah.
And I said, well, I want to look like that. No.
Yeah. Well,
absolutely
I always
not.
had
Not in this
mine
house.
swept back, and I had the,
Like
you know,
a
I looked a
quiff.
bit like this actually till I joined, and you know, John's famous line, "Lose the beard and cut your hair down,
Your hair down.
and you can join."
What was it that you said? We got another clip. What was it that you said to the Queen when you got your MBE in '65?
Well, no, Paul and I went up to the Queen. We were always went in twos.
Right.
So she said to me, "You started the Beatles." She said, "No, man, it was the others." And she said, and without a miss beat, she said, "How long have you been together?" And Paul and I went right into, "We've been together now for 40 years." And, you know, she's like, oh, okay.
Did she smile?
Well, I don't know. You know what I mean? But
Ringo, John, Paul and George, MBEs. What did Paul think of the palace? A keen pad, he said. Certainly no other four men of our time, or any other, have given so much pleasure to millions in a few short years. Recognition very well deserved. On the other side of the railings, the fans undoubtedly thought so, and let everybody know it within 5 miles radius.
Great
you guys had
days.
such
all
a good
those little
sound.
Great
girls.
days.
Yeah, but you had such a good sound, you guys.
We did, and
You
that's
really
a great
did
track.
It's a great track, isn't it? From
But
our
I can
favourites.
still, even in your new one, I can still hear that Beatles echo. It might just be the fact that your voice is so familiar.
Sure.
Yeah.
But there's something about it. It's very upbeat and it's very fresh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Got that freshness still.
Well, and you know, the Beatle records still are selling.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And that's just for the music. That's that's really the cool thing for me.
Yeah.
They don't know us now, really. I mean, all the kids.
No, they don't know you, right?
Yeah.
You're not
like you
phenomenal
and your
about
dad did. I mean, you know, we weren't part of the consciousness of, don't you ever have your hair cut like them?
No.
You know?
it. What do you think? I
Or
don't know
wear
if
an earring like that. Oh,
Isn't it
fantastic
pretty?
earring. It's that star one.
Yeah.
Ah.
Another gift.
From whom?
From who?
Olivia Harrison.
Just drop him in.
You
Well,
bought
listen,
two, I got one and Barbara got one.
it's a really fun album.
good.
Choose Love,
Choose
Ringo
Love.
Starr. Lovely picture of you on the front.
Yeah, great.
You're right. You get
Barbara
some
took
nomination.
that picture.
Really? Did she?
Yeah.
It's really
You look
cool.
It's in
really
our
cool.
garden.
In the garden.
Yeah.
Got a funny colour garden.
Well, we got a big rock in there with a circle on it.
Well, it's lovely to see you. Good luck
Hey,
with
you
it.
too. Thanks.
Always nice
Thanks
talking
again.
to you. Thanks so much
It's
for
always
coming in.
lovely
Hey,
to talk
thanks.
to you, Dad.
Pleasure.